The next one, organizing the WBS by organizational structure. I've done this. This is very common. Okay, so I guess I don't know if I should feel good or bad that I committed a common error. Maybe I want my errors to be special. But anyway, it turns out that when my errors were not special. You know what? Because this is something we do naturally as people, so we have to resist it. And in a prior chapter and lesson, there was a story about Josh and his coworker called Perry. Remember, we called him Perry, the project manager. And Perry wanted to organize his WBS around his team structure, not around the product and the deliverables. So then his WBS, instead of being focused on the output, it was organized by people in areas who performed work. This took the focus off of what they were supposed to produce. It also can lead to scope bloat, or what we might want to call it scope creep, I think is the more common term. When you try to plan a project this way, you don't know what's part of the end product. And sometimes people want to add work because that's what their area, they want to add work that relates to what their area does, and we've shown the organization by areas. So remember, your WBS should be output oriented, not input oriented. The next one, time phasing the WBS. This is my favorite mistake because this is how I was taught to create the WBS. So I was actually taught incorrectly. But then through additional training, like what you're doing now with WBS Coach, I realized I was off track. What this is organizing your WBS by phases of the project. And this can be the most controversial because people really cling to it, clearly, as would the people who taught me to do it this way. And the reason we say it is a mistake is because you're going to see that it isn't always fine. It's okay that we think chronologically, and that's natural, that we'll think, first I do A, then I do B, then I do C. That's okay. And in fact, since if you build your WBS from left to right in the order in which the what gets produced, that's okay, because later when you apply your numbering scheme to your WBS, when you add those IDs and control IDs, you're probably going to do that from left to right. The problem is that phases can lead to assumptions and missing scope, because instead of focusing on the what, I'm focusing on the phase. And unless the phase correctly captures all of the what for the scope, we might miss things. So for example, if system A needs to be developed before system B, that's great. And you're probably going to put them in order left to right, system A, system B. And you might make system A a 2.0 level and system B a 3-point level. That might be okay too. But what you don't want to do is say phase 1 equals system A, phase 2 equals system B. Because phases are time periods, they're not deliverables. And that goes back to the key point.